So, hello everyone, and nice to be together with you all this way. And so, one of the wonderful supports for mindfulness meditation, when it is available, is metta, is loving kindness or goodwill. And when it's available, it makes it a lot easier to be present for whatever's here. It means we're more comfortable being present, more comfortable with ourselves if we have metta, if we have kindness, love as we sit. And whatever arises in meditation, whatever happens in meditation, occurs then within the atmosphere, within the context of some goodwill. Goodwill for ourselves, goodwill to what's happening. Sometimes the inner experiences can be difficult, and to meet them with goodwill, with kindness, with friendliness makes a world of difference rather than meeting with them with aversion or fear or intense desire for something else. Metta makes a kind of a relaxed state for it, hold everything. And so what allows us to sit with metta, with loving kindness? Being calm helps, and being gentle. And these two things, gentleness and calm, the opposite of them, whatever the opposite is, and maybe there's a range of things, they don't make room for this quiet thing, this little bit shy thing called love or kindness, friendliness to exist. It gets crowded out. And so whereas metta supports mindfulness, mindfulness supports metta. When it helps us to calm down, when it helps us to shift from being the opposite of gentle to something like being gentle. The opposite of being harsh is maybe being gentle. The opposite of being hostile is to be gentle. The opposite of poking and attacking our experience and wanting it to go away is not necessarily to want it to be there at all, but to be gentle with what is. So perhaps for this meditation, maybe we can sit with an orientation towards calmness and gentleness, and a kind of orientation, a kind of reference of that. Even if you don't feel that, and it's difficult to feel calm, difficult to feel gentle, maybe there's something inside of you, maybe deep down or in the corners of your heart, your mind, that knows a little bit what those things are. And just knowing them is a lifeline to not getting swept away in their opposites. So, assuming a meditation posture that is supportive for you in being alert, but also in a posture that will help you to be somewhat calm and gentle, but not collapsing and relaxing too much, sinking into a couch, but somehow a posture that allows you to hold some alertness together with calm, together with being gentle. And then gently, calmly, taking a few long, slow, deep in-breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you exhale, a few long, slow exhales, letting go. releasing the body, relaxing as deep into the body as you can. And then letting your breathing return to normal. And being easy with your breathing. Being easy with how things are right now. At ease. Even if things are difficult. Breathing with that easily, calmly. And part of calm in meditation is as if you have all the time in the world to offer attention to our experience, to get to know it, as if you're calmly listening to a troubled friend, and you sit there as if you have all the time in the world to hear them out. And to be gentle is not to intrude or push yourself, force yourself, assert yourself in on what's happening, but to allow your inner life, to allow your body space to show itself, to be itself, here and now. Softening the belly. And calmly settling into your body breathing. Calmly orienting yourself to experience the in-breaths and the out-breaths in the body. With the exhale, allowing yourself to become calm. Slowly, a little calmer, more relaxed. Calming the thinking mind as you exhale in small incremental steps. If you're inclined, you can very calmly say the word calm as you exhale. And see if there can be a gentleness in how you receive the inhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Calm and gentle in a way that supports you to be present for what is. one thing that supports calmness is recognizing the calm that's here. Recognizing gentleness that's here supports the growth of gentle settling into the present moment. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, perhaps you can recognize whatever way that you are more settled, calmer than you were at the beginning. Maybe even gentler. And in being calmer or gentler, more settled, does it give more room inside for your heart, for your warm-heartedness or kind-heartedness, or a simple, maybe very ordinary caringness, kindness and love, and maybe not carrying that love or kindness with you into the world so much as carrying the calmness and gentleness that has room for the heart, room for heart qualities. And then as we come to the end of the sitting, perhaps you can open up this calm, gentle space, kind-heartedness to the people in your life, neighbors and friends and family and members of your community, people that you might learn about through media. And dedicate the benefit and merit of this sitting here for the welfare and happiness of others. The kind of welfare and happiness that might allow them to go into the world warm-heartedly. May all beings be happy and peaceful, safe and free, so that their best qualities of heart may be shared with others. May we all share the goodness of our hearts with each other. So for this week, I'd like to focus on metta, loving kindness, but in a particular way. On Friday, I heard my friend Paul Haller, who spoke here a few weeks ago for the 7 a.m. for a week. He gave a wonderful talk where he divided up the discourse on loving kindness into 4 parts. It was very nice to hear him, and I was inspired by this 4-part division. And so I thought I would do that for this week, is to take a look at the kind of the foundational teachings attributed to the Buddha on loving kindness. That's a particular poem that then it can be divided into 4 parts. That's kind of the poem on loving kindness. And if you want to read my translation, which is what I'll use, you'll find it in the What's New in the homepage of IMC's website under Reflections from Gil. You'll also find it, the part we're going to talk about today, in a little description of on YouTube, a description of what's happening here underneath the photograph, underneath the video. If you do show more, I put this section that we're going to talk about. But please don't read it now and get distracted. We'll go through it. And Paul's talk is not recorded, so for public use. So we find in the ancient teachings of the Buddha that loving kindness gets emphasized a lot. Of the 4 Brahmaviharas, the 4 kinds of love that were championed in the ancient world, loving kindness gets the most attention, and it encompasses quite a bit, but encompasses the desire to be friendly and all the good qualities that flows out of friendliness, helping people when they're in trouble, our friends in trouble, supporting people when things are going well, caring for them, being kind. But the fundamental way of seeing it is a goodwill. What comes out of our goodwill? And the goodwill is a nice translation because the opposite of loving kindness is sometimes seen to be ill will and certain kind of hostility towards others. And so in this discourse on loving kindness, it's divided into 4 parts, or can be divided into 4 parts. And the first part is not really about loving kindness itself, but can be seen as the support for it, the way of being in the world and being with ourselves that makes the ability to have goodwill grow in us and develop. And some people will refer to this section as being ethical, kind of an ethical teaching. But so many of what's talked about is not ethical in the sense of how we relate to other people, but how we are in ourselves. And so maybe the word integrity integrity and ethics sometimes are considered near synonyms of each other. And so maybe this is qualities of integrity that this involves. I like to think of it as different things that makes room for the heart qualities to come. And if we want to have more metta, more kindness in our life, more friendliness, then it's not just a matter of kind of just drumming it up, as if we can just call on it, evoke it automatically, but rather create the conditions for where it's more likely to flow out of us, more likely to be here for us. So it's a little bit of indirect way of cultivating loving kindness, not to do it directly, but to prepare the ground for it. And many things that are important to do in life, we prepare for it. We adjust ourselves accordingly, and so we're ready for the situation that we're going to do. And so I'm going to put in the chat the section of it, and it's not quite formatted very well this way. But so I told you different places you can do it. You do it, or you can just listen to me as I go read it. So I'll read it first, and then I'll discuss it. So the discourse on loving kindness. To reach the state of peace, those skilled in the good should be capable and upright, straightforward and easy to speak to, gentle and not proud, contented and easily supported, living lightly with few duties, wise and with senses calmed, not arrogant and without greed for supporters, and they should not do the least thing that the wise would criticize. So here, the explicit discussion here is not about loving kindness, but to reach the state of peace. And more kind of close reading of the Metta Sutta, it's can be understood as being utilizing or being supported by loving kindness on the path to liberation and freedom. So rather than loving kindness being an adjunct or something different from the path of freedom, liberation, it's actually very much on it. And the cultivation of this form of love supports the movement towards liberation. And those skilled in the good, and there's a lot of words in the suttas that are related to this word good. My favorite is the word beautiful, kalyana. Skilled in what's beautiful, skilled in what is beneficial, skilled in what is wholesome, which is the topic for the last week. So there's a skill. Again, the word skill is related to the word wholesome, kusala. There is skilled in the good. And what follows is some of the skills that we can develop. And I think of it as skills, because we don't have to listen to this and think we should automatically be this way. There's an ideal, and therefore you should be this way. But rather, these are things to cultivate, to develop. These are things to work towards. These are valuable states that shouldn't be overlooked. And if we want to live a purposeful life, cultivating these are phenomenally supportive. So being capable and upright. So I think the word capable here means able to apply oneself. That's at least how I understand it. Not so much that we're capable in doing a lot of different things, but rather we're capable of engaging in the practice and cultivating skills, cultivating ourselves in ways. And upright. I think this is in the ancient world, this idea of being upright, like sometimes it is in English, has a meaning of being having certain kind of integrity. And an integrity that allows a person to stand upright without feeling diminished or feeling belittling themselves or feeling shy or feeling somehow less than or something because of who they are. But the kind of integrity that allows in a very simple way to be upright, hold oneself straight and certain confidence. Straightforward means to be direct in how we speak, not go roundabout, just say things as they are in a kind of simple, straight way. Easy to speak to means that if someone needs to give us feedback about something that's difficult, we're easy to receive that. We're not automatically defensive, we don't go into the attack mode, but if someone has to say something to us, we're there to listen and be there without automatically defending ourselves. Not automatically agreeing or being pushed over by the other people, but it's easy for people to come to us and say, by the way, I need to talk to you, I want to talk to you about something and that was difficult for me. Gentle and not proud. So upright but not proud. And proud here, sometimes in modern English, the word pride has very positive connotations. So what proud here means is to be puffed up, a certain kind of conceit. And gentle, and which was kind of the topic for the meditation we had. a certain kind of gentleness. And I like the reference point for gentle for me is to understand it better, is to appreciate the opposite of it. That to not be gentle makes the heart and mind kind of crowded usually. To be harsh, to be mean, to be rough with people. There's a kind of engagement and involvement that doesn't make room for freedom, for love, for kindness, for the kind of inner cultivation of the heart that the path of freedom involves. So a gentleness. And contented and easily supported. So these are values that are a little bit more focused on monastics, easily, but it can be for anyone. Monastics are supposed to be very contented with having just a few things, just enough to be comfortable. And through the eyes of modern world, the monastic life can be seen as ascetic. But in the time of the Buddha, it was clearly not to be ascetic. There were people who were much more seriously ascetics than the Buddhists. Rather, the Buddhist monastics have just enough to be comfortable, just enough clothes, just enough housing, just enough food, and just enough medicine, but not more than what's needed. Contented with what keeps us, the basics, comfortable. And that's kind of a fascinating reference point. Content with just enough to keep us alive healthily, and easily supported. For monastic not to want a lot from other people, and the supporters, and trying to acquire more and more from the donors that could support them. Similarly, living lightly and with few duties, not being so busy, because having a lot to do and lots of responsibilities doesn't make space and time that these heart qualities need in order to flower. Wise and with senses calmed. And the sense is calmed. So the eyes are calm. We see the world in a calm way. We're not always darting about looking. The ears are calm. So the taste buds are calm. We don't want more and more food. Something like that. Not arrogant and without greed for supporters. And they should not do the least thing that the wise would criticize. So for the people in your life who you really respect and value for being wise people, to not do something that they would be critical of. Mostly it means don't be unethical, don't be mean, don't have ill will, but to use the reference points of those who are wise, to how to care for yourself, and also how to relate to yourself. Don't do the least things that the wise would that's not quite right. So it's a tall order, but it's kind of a call to be careful also with how you are when you're alone, in the privacy of your own life. Are you also there living in a way that those who you respect would not be critical of? And so your life is transparent or harmonious, whether you're alone or not. Ready to bring these qualities, all these qualities, to your life when you're living alone and quietly in your privacy of your own situation, or when you're in the world publicly with others. That you would be capable and upright, straightforward and easy to speak to, gentle and not proud, contented and easily supported, living lightly and with few duties, wise and with senses calmed, not arrogant and without greed for supporters, and not doing the least thing that the wise would criticize. So this sets the stage then for an attitude, a orientation towards others that can be said to be that of kindness or friendliness, goodwill, metta. And that'll be the topic for the next section of the Metta Sutta tomorrow. So, thank you. And if you're at all inclined, you might want to memorize today this section. Some people find tremendous benefit from memorizing the Metta Sutta. And this version is not the one we usually use here at IMC. We use the monastic one that comes out of the monastery Abhayagiri or Amaravati in England. because it has a nice kind of chanting kind of quality. But either one, and so thank you.